Welcome to Hard Talk with me, Zeinab Badawi. My guest today is the French couturist Jean-Paul Gaultier, who's known as the enfant terrible of the fashion world for his witty and daring designs. Now an exhibition of his best-known works is opening here at the Barbican in London. But how far do his designs like the cone-shaped bra and corset dresses help contribute to the sexual objectification of women? Jean-Paul Gaultier, welcome to Hard Talk.
Thank you.
What do you think of the label, the enfant terrible of the fashion world, about you now that you're in your early 60s?
I should say that now you cannot say that. I am the ex-enfant terrible. I am the old man terrible of fashion, of French fashion, maybe. Still, a little.
You don't mind it. Okay, you were never actually, strangely enough, formally trained in design. You sent some pictures to
some sketches.
Some sketches.
Exactly. I didn't go to school.
Yeah,
to Cardin on the day of my 18 years old, you know, so I didn't do school of fashion. But I sent those sketches on the day of my 18 years old. Pierre Cardin called at the house, you know, and at my mother and say, I want to see him. So when I came back, she said, you have to go to see Cardin. Come with me, because I was so frightened, you know, to go and meet him, you know, so that I went there. And he said, how many days you can work? Because I was still not finishing my studies. I say like 3 afternoons. He said, okay, work.
Amazing break. Because, and Yves Saint Laurent hadn't got back to you, had he? Okay, so you stayed for a short time with Pierre Cardin, and then you joined Jacques Estorel. This
exactly.
is all in the...
Couture, a small couture house, very different from Cardin.
And this is all in the 1970s.
And I went after to Jean Patou, which was a bigger old house, but bigger, but that didn't live anymore. You know, I mean, it was only the perfume that was doing things, but the collection didn't. Even we were presenting even a show, but it was not selling. You know, we were doing like only one customer, and we have to make special sketches for her. You
but
know?
A very famous name. But you say there that you were almost chameleon-like when you were both at Cardin and Patou, trying to second guess what kind of designs they wanted. When did you find your own kind of style?
I should say that I appreciate the fact to be assistant, because for example, Cardin, it was easy because he has a style, a strong style. So I have to work into his style, you know, and he was opening at the time, you know, it was beginning of 70s, in 70, precisely, opening his Espace Cardin, which is still a theater, and he was presenting his shows there, and he was doing furniture. Even he asked me to do furniture, which I never expect to sketch some furniture. Anyway, and after, when I left Cardin, I went to Patou. After I came back from Philippines, again working for Cardin, and I start my own collection. So it was in 76. And little by little, I think I find what we can say my style. I should say my obsession more than anything.
So your style, you very quickly became known for a kind of edgy, street kind of fashion, punk, that kind of thing. Are you comfortable with being known as the person who has these kind of designs as their signature?
Definitely, I am proud of it, because I must say that I have, let's say the truth, I have been inspired more by the street and the street of London than by the jet set, let's say. At the time, in the 70s, mid-70s, you know, the jet set was wearing like very boring clothes, which were not at all inspiring. So me, I was preferring to see and to go to the street and to see some people that were dressing in a more, for me, modern way, more
almost
actual way.
Almost punk-like, yeah.
And I was very influenced by the punk, of course, which for me was something absolutely fabulous and very like rebellious. You know, I was a little, let's say, rebellious against French fashion, which was very with code and very, that is chic, that is not chic, not at all the sense of humor. And I must say that in London, it was completely the opposite. The people on the street, people were, and even not the street people, were more like with like let's say, eccentricity, and more like wearing and speaking through their clothes.
All right, one thing that you really have become famous for, and you started this on a design on your teddy bear, which features in this exhibition, which is the cone bra, the very pointed bra.
A lot before I did for Madonna, a lot time before.
Because, you did that for the Blonde Ambition tour of Madonna in 1990. But the pointed bra, the corset, the bodice, that kind of thing, it's really, you pioneered underwear as outerwear.
Yeah.
And you know, a profile of you in the New Yorker at the time says you unleashed a lot of debate about whether this was empowering or enslaving women. Which was it for you?
For me, it was empowering because I come from a generation after the women's sleep, which means like where women, you know, like they burn their bra, you know. So, okay, I think it's good because always me, I have in mind the values that women are stronger than men. For me, they are more and more clever.
That's how you may see it, though. But do you think a lot of people might have said, look, the corset, the heavy bra, it's very restrictive. It's redolent of a past era.
Definitely it is,
okay.
But...
So why bring it back?
The big difference is I propose to women to choose if they want to wear themselves and to choose, not because they are obliged, because they like to be like that.
But it's uncomfortable.
But there is some people that do a lot of things that are uncomfortable.
Would you wear it? Would you wear a corset like that?
Definitely I should need. I must say, definitely I should need now, especially at that time not, but definitely I should need. But I should say, like, for example, I bleached my hair during like 20 years. On my, I have no more hair almost because of that. You know, I suffer, but to have the blonde hair, you know. So it was my blonde ambition.
But I appreciate that you say that you see women as the strongest sex and so on. But nevertheless, you know, you said once that you saw a woman wearing a lacy bra under a Chanel jacket. That's all she was wearing. But I mean, do you not think that might really contribute to the sexual objectification of women?
Not yes, apparently, but not at all in the deep of it, because the women were changing around me, and only I am the reflection of what was changing. Some women, and after, it must be like, let's say, concretized and symbolized by Madonna, which was a very strong, more macho than Madonna. It doesn't exist.
But she's a big superstar. What if a young woman tries to copy her and wears the underwear as outerwear? It might encourage predatory male sexual attention.
You know, first when they were like the miniskirt, people say that it was prostitute. When they were the miniskirt. After, when they were the trouser, they say that it was scandalous and they were ridiculous because they wanted to be come on, like a man, you know. And it was showing in some way the fact that they wanted to have a trouser, the ones that wanted to have it to show that they were like man. It shows in reality that they feel under the man. They have to pretend to be and to, comment dit-on ça, se déguiser, to make like a carnival like a man, you know. So, the women of after them, they are more evaluate, let's say, and they can use the attribute of seduction, the old one, but for them also, and like to be nice because they feel good and beautiful like that. Maybe because they dream about like a book and photos of beautiful, glamorous women which were sexy, and I want to be like that, but it doesn't mean that I am a slut or whatever, you know.
Okay, a slut, okay, all right. But do you think that you're trying to make a statement about gender and sexuality? Because, for example, you have men also dressed in a very feminine way, women in masculine attire. You made the male pinstripe suit very popular with women. And I tell you what, the Balenciaga creative director, Nicolas Ghesquière, said of you. Gaultier changed so many things in the creative process, sexuality in fashion. Was that your aim?
I think that is truly, I think I contributed to it. But to be honest, like to say that woman, that I changed the view of the woman, I should say that people have done that before. Like Yves Saint Laurent, for example, when he put women in suit, you know, but it was a time. Me mixing masculinity and femininity, both is what I did, you know, like power and also seductive, but as a choice. For men, I think I did a little more because my first collection for men was called The Male Object. So it's mean, like the woman was only, because you know, when I was like adolescent, I was very shocked because I was surrounded by my mother, my grandmother, and they were very nice and clever. And after, I have some girlfriends that were truly like clever, and they know what they wanted, and I find they were a lot more
But you're more than
clever.
that. Yeah, but you're more than that. You bring sexuality into fashion. You use bondage, you use latex, you use
I didn't
rubber.
bring it, was existing.
Yeah, but you've made that as part of your style, and I suppose that's what we mean by, you're bringing sexuality into fashion. You've mentioned Madonna. You say that you were really fascinated by her. Yeah. How important is a muse to you as a designer?
It's super important. I should say that I think I became designer because I saw TV, it was at the TV, but it was a movie of the 40s, which I was not born, but I saw it after in black and white. And that movie was speaking about like one couturier that become crazy and in love with his muse. And I see that now when I look at it again, you know, and I say, I want to do the same job that he was doing in the movie. I want to be like him. And come on. I think that he has a muse. He changed his collection, become beautiful because he was in love with her. So for me, it was normal. So it was to make fashion. It was to make a fashion show because in the movie there was a fashion show. It was to show the.
So you're inspired by inspired by that. But I have to ask you this, Jean-Paul Gaultier, because in April 2012 you had a show and you sent in a parade of Amy Winehouse lookalikes 6 months after she died, and you know her family, Mitch Winehouse. Her father said that was in bad taste. He said, we're still grieving for her loss. Why did you do that?